ya da 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 da, ya dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 ya da da. Dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da Yun da 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 da. Come on, you all know the words. Yun da 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 dun da 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 da. Hun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 e da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. So thanks everyone for coming. I want to make this mic a little bit taller. Thanks everyone for coming. This is the second year of Greenfield's public illumination ceremony. Thank you all for coming out. We are already a larger crowd than we made it to last year. And since the objective is to reach as many people as possible, it seems like we're succeeding. I am honored to be the one introducing this, but really, this moment rests on 2,000 plus years of my ancestors keeping this tradition alive. And I'm privileged to be the one who can be here to share it with all of you, even though I know many of you also have this tradition. So we are here in Greenfield, Massachusetts. We have now added ourselves to a list of, I believe it's over 10,000 communities now that have a menorah like this of some kind or another.
15,000.
Yeah, but it might be more than one in the, well, so 15,000, we'll go with that number. And that's just US? Whatever. Somewhere around 15,000 communities have a menorah like this. And it is a Jewish symbol, but its message of light and warmth is intended for everyone. So, to get our ceremony started, I want to welcome our new mayor of Greenfield, Ginny DeSorger. Come on up.
Yay!
You are the second mayor of Greenfield to have the honor of lighting the helper candle, the shamash, of this big menorah. So I want to give you the opportunity to say a few words, and then you'll get to do the honors.
Jasper, I'm just honored to be. Oh, how's that?
Good.
I'm honored to be here tonight. This is the second time for me too. I was here with you last year, and it's an honor to be here with everyone tonight to celebrate the miracle of light and warmth. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know that the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
I think we have Annie Hassett in the house. I like to tell people that Annie Hassett is Greenfield's town mascot. And she is also obviously a proud Jewish person who, no matter where you are in Greenfield, you can hear her singing. So thank you, Annie, for that. Before I call up the person who's going to light the rest of the Hanukah candles, I want to acknowledge that my dad's here. Is my mom here? She's not here. Is my brother here? I don't see him. I thought maybe he's on his way. He tends to be late.
Don't tell all the family secrets.
That was just one, not all of them. Jim Geisman is one of our 2 elected assessors in Greenfield. We have 3 assessors, 2 elected. The 2 elected ones are both Jewish. I've asked Jim to come out and light the rest of the Hanukah candles on behalf of the city of Greenfield. Come on up, Jim. So Jim, you're going to recite the brachot and then light the candles. But before you do that, tell your townspeople how long it's been since you lit a menorah.
Jasper, if you get a little closer to the mic, we can hear you better.
So I was asking Jim to tell us all how long it has been since he lit a Hanukah menorah.
I plead the fifth. No, many years. More than I can count, or I want to remember. No. I'm sorry. It has been a long time, more years than I can remember, since I lit a menorah. I think it was probably before a lot of you were born.
Speak into the mic.
A little louder. Right.
Louder? Okay. I gave away all my jokes before. But anyhow, it has been a very long time since I've lit a menorah. And I have to confess, it's been an equally long time since I've been in temple. So you can tell that I'm a little rusty on the blessings.
So I'm going to hand you the torch, and then I'll hold the mic so that they can hear you. And you have to face this way to make the brachot. You make the brachot first. Oh, yeah, okay.
These are the blessings before I light before I light the lights. Say it loud and proud. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Hanukah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavantenu bayamim hayim bizman hazeh.
Amen.
Jim will now recite the blessing after the candles.
In English. We kindle these lights to commemorate the saving acts, the miracles, and the wonders which you have performed for our ancestors in those days, at this time, through your holy Kohanim. Throughout the 8 days of Hanukah, these lights are sacred. We are not permitted to make use of them except to gaze at them in order to thank and praise your great name for your miracles, for your wonders, and for your salvations.
Thank you, Jim Geisman, assessor of Greenfield. All right, where are we? Okay, is Michal Gottlieb in the room? Is Karen Shapiro here? Rebbitzin, did Karen come over?
She's here.
Okay. Karen, I need you to take this envelope. We're going to hand out flyers for the Sunday time. Just go around the crowd. So, before we proceed to the rest of the ceremony, a couple announcements. This whole ceremony and event and all this stuff costs money. We still need to raise a little bit more. Michal Gottlieb here will be going around the crowd right now, collecting your donations. If everyone in this crowd gave $15, we would exceed our fundraising goals for the year. But because we know not everyone is able to, please try to be as generous as you can. On that subject, I want to acknowledge that several of our Main Street businesses have stepped up to sponsor this event. Those are the Law Office of Isaac Mass, BK Tile and Stone, Greenfield Solar, the Bleeping Computer Store right across the street, laptop and computer repair, and BK Tile and Stone. Is there anyone in the crowd who is a business owner who would like to add their name to that list now? Seeing and hearing none. And also, the Greenfield Orthodox Coalition, my group that puts on this menorah, also puts on a Sunday night Jewish mysticism class, which is open to Jews and Gentiles alike. And Karen, who is one of our regular students, is passing out flyers to that right now. And the fundraising and the flyers will go on as we continue the ceremony. And I want to next, if I could have everyone's attention now, we're going to get down to business. The theme for this year's illumination ceremony is a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. And in Judaism, we have, and you'll see how this is related, we have this concept of a spiritual mentor. We call it a mashpia. Mine is here tonight, Rabbi Yosef Gottlieb. Rabbi Gottlieb, will you please come forward? I'd like you to tell us a little bit about what that phrase means and who said it. Come on, don't be shy.
Rabbi, you were summoned. You've been summoned from above.
Drag him. Very modest.
Modesty is commended in Judaism. It was always said that you couldn't be king unless you refused to serve.
Once you were king, you had to serve.
So, Give us a word about who said that phrase. A little bit of like a spelling. So tell us who said that and what it means.
Happy Hanukah, everyone, and
Happy
also
Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah.
and tonight is also Rosh Chodesh. It's the new month, so Hashem should bless everybody with a happy month, a blessed month, a prosperous month, and a month of redemption.
Yes.
It's quoted in the primary mystical book of Chabad teachings from the Alter Rebbe from the Tanya, where it says Ma'at Or, Deiche Harbe Chayshach, a little bit of light expels tremendous amounts of darkness. And what's beautiful about this is that there's only when a person does something good, it continues on throughout the entire world, and it makes a difference. We just came from reading from the a couple of we read in the last week's portion about Yosef, who was the secondary to King Paro, and he saved the entire universe from a famine. And how did it all begin? Anyone who knows the entire story is when he saw somebody who was upset, and he asked him, "How are you doing?" And I see that you're upset, and he took the time to lift him up, and that's what led eventually to saving all of humanity. So we have to remember that every good deed that we do has an impact on our own life, to the people around us, and eventually to the entire world, and that will bring the final redemption. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Thank you very much, Rabbi Yosef Gottlieb. Is Doug Clark here tonight? No, I don't see him. But I want to acknowledge him again because when I proposed that this menorah would take place last year, one of the people who was the most excited is Doug Clark, who's the sponsor of the Nativity Scene. And the reason I'm bringing this up again is because what was deeply important and meaningful to him was that the Nativity and the Hanukkah menorah should be side by side, shoulder to shoulder. Not just that we could have it also, but that they would be together in the same place. And let's see, is Counselor Minhas here? No. But we've also had tremendous support from the Muslim community in Greenfield, including him and his family, and including a generous financial sponsorship from Terraza Restaurant, which is the most prominent Muslim-owned business in Greenfield. So I want to emphasize that we have Jews, Christians, and Muslims together here supporting each other in lifting this community up from darkness into light. And what I was going to say about that is that Greenfield has been on an advertising campaign for itself lately. We've been trying to say, look, we have farmers markets and we have artists and we have musicians. If you want to know why people should love Greenfield, should come here to shop, to live here, this is the best advertisement for Greenfield that you're going to be able to get, and this is what should be distributed throughout all of these campaigns, because where else in the world today can you say that the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims are all on the same page? We have a real treat for us tonight. We have, in addition to hecklers, we have musicians. We have a klezmer band led by Brian Bender, who is a very well-known, very well-respected Jewish musician. He has brought with him the JCA Klezmer Ensemble, who would normally be playing there, but because their event was changed to a smaller format that didn't require a band, we got them instead for a steal. We are going to be over at the library at our second annual Potato Pancake Social, to which you are all invited. And if you know anyone who's not here and you can reach them, tell them to show up. We can fit 100 in the room. There's going to be food, there's board games, and the fire chief is here too, by the way. And once again, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and making Greenfield the place to be on this 6th night of Hanukkah and this night of Rosh Chodesh, the new month, which is coming around. I'll see you all at the library. And, oh, one more thing. Is there anyone in the crowd tonight who does not have a menorah at home and would like one? Everyone has? Because we have.
Some hands are up. Some hands are up.
Michael, where are you? Michael Gottlieb, hand out menorah.
Everyone needs a michal. Everyone needs a michal.
Yes, I did. So keep your hands up. Do you want to hand out menorahs?
He does. Go.
People whose hands are up need a menorah. It's going to come with a box of candles. But what Michael was telling me to say is that everyone who watched this happen, when you go home, light your own menorah. Don't let this be the only menorah that you see lit. Because every Jew should light his or her own menorah every night of Hanukkah. And if you don't know how to do that, look for anyone with a black hat and they'll tell you. So, happy Hanukkah, everyone. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next door for the indoor part of the event, which I'm still not allowed legally to call a party, but which might look like one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jasper.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll sing it together. Which one? Just the regular one?
Please join in with this song. Say shalom bimromav, Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Uyase shalom bimromav, Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. You gotta call out, shout out, as they say. There you go. We need a menorah over here. Well, I'm a little awkward, so.
Stop it! What are these?
They're all pastries.
They're all different kinds of cake.
And they're carved.
Oh, this, yeah. ensemble. We're an ensemble that meets as a workshop twice a month at the Jewish community of Greenfield. If anyone likes to join us, just get in touch with me.
Wow. Do you still know how to play it?
You want to bring the drill back over here?
Oh, I would like to
So the last night is not the first. Second.
We still need to raise
The first eve of the second.
If anyone is willing to donate your money, please send it in the back. I would say that without your husband, who I'm going to introduce right now, our first speaker of the night is the rabbi at my synagogue, which is the Chabad House of Amherst. He is my inspiration for the menorah and for this event because Rabbi was the one that suggested I do it, given we hadn't had one in Greenfield. He has lived the menorah in Amherst in a similar fashion for the last 36 years. He's only 21, but he's the grandfather of 54 grandchildren and counting. And I connected with him. And he is at the same time the highest novelist and a die-hard party animal. Please welcome for our first speaker of the night, Rabbi Chaim Edelman. Rabbi Edelman is going to tell us a little bit about how this holiday came to be celebrated the way it is. And I want to ask him to start with the question, what is a Maccabee?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And explain who they were, what Maccabee means, and then go on to explain how we came to call it
Yeah,
a
they have a lot of synagogues in Lametta. Lametta is about to be
Jasper asked me to speak in Yiddish. So I will.
One Holyoke, you can go to Holyoke.
Slogan?
Yeah.
Porverte.
They have a lot of
The Yomtiv and Hanukah. That's it for the Yiddish. Okay. Again, a big thanks to Jasper for all his work. So we're happy that he took my suggestion and decided to take it and do with it. And we're get together and gathering in Greenfield. Very grateful for that. So I'm going to share a few words first about the history about Hanukah. Something not so well known, so I'm going to share a few things. Where do we know about the story of Hanukah? Well, it's not in the Bible. The story of Purim is in the Bible. That's the book of Esther. And the Bible, we have the 5 books of Moses, and the rest of the prophets and writings conclude at the beginning of the second temple period. Go back about 2,500 years ago. I was very young at the time. The book of Esther happened right before the second temple was established. The first temple, as you likely know, was built by King Solomon. So his father, King David, prepared the items for the temple building, but only King Solomon was willing to build it. That lasted for 410 years. Then it was destroyed by the Babylonians. Those Babylonians. we were sent into exile for 70 years. And towards the end of the 70-year period, the story of Purim took place. The book of Esther was written after that. She requested from the rabbis to be included in the Tanakh, in the Bible, and her wish was granted. So we have the conclusion of the Tanakh at the beginning period of the Second Temple. The story of Hanukah takes place hundreds of years later. The Second Temple lasted for 420 years. Interesting and not so well known is that not all the Jews were living in Israel at the time. The one who led the Jews back to Israel from Babylon, which became the Persian Empire, which is the story of Purim, he did not bring all the Jews back to Israel. In fact, he kept, I think it was a majority of Jews remained in Babylonia. And those who remember the Gulf War, when they went into Baghdad. So I heard this from the U.S. chaplain himself. There was a museum. There was a museum in Baghdad, and with artifacts and writings and manuscripts dating back to the destruction of the first temple when the Jews were exiled down to Babylonia. He mentioned to me, just as a side, an interesting note, that a Scud missile actually fell right in the building, and it did not explode. When they discovered all these artifacts and manuscripts, they called this historian in the U.S., asked them how to maintain the items and not to have them removed. In any case, it's a side note, interesting anecdote. And so we have a lot of Jews in Babylon, Persia, and then a group were taken to Israel, led by the Jewish prophet named Ezra, and he was the one who organized and built the Second Temple with the permission of the Persian king. Now, so we don't have any scripture on the story of Hanukah. There are two places where the story is told. One is in the Talmud. The Talmud, as you might know, is the compendium of the oral tradition. All of the Torah that we have, every command that we have, has an oral tradition and instructions that were given to Moses from Hashem on Mount Sinai, and he conveyed it to his students, and it was handed down for many, many years. And it was instructed that the oral tradition should remain oral and not written. And that was the status quo for many, many, many years, until after the Second Temple destruction, when the rabbis saw that the traditions that were so carefully kept and honored and venerated were being forgotten. And so the famous sage, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, Yehuda the Prince, known as Rebbe for short, relied on a verse that said in a time of emergency, you can take the drastic step, and he said, now we need to record all the oral traditions. And that became the basis of the first major work of oral tradition called the Mishnah. And from there, to the second work known as the Gemara or Talmud. And in the tractate of Shabbos, there's a tractate called Sabbath or Shabbos, the story of Hanukah is told. The Gemara asks, "My Hanukah," which translates as, "What's Hanukah?" literally, but that can't be the question. You all know what Hanukah is all about. It was asking, what's the miracle? What miracle are we marking in Hanukah? And everyone knows the miracle of the oil. I'll keep it short. Anyway, the famous story that during the Second Temple period, we had the Romans, those Romans, who came in and Greeks. Oh, follow those
We have all
rules.
the grease.
Yes.
That's why there's all the grease.
Yeah, so we had the Greeks come in, and they stopped the temple service, messed around everything, and they were looking to restart after the war was won against the Greeks. Miraculous war was won, and this one jar of oil lasted for 8 days. That's what the Gemara says. Talmud says 8 days of miracle celebration. There's another source known as the Book of the Maccabees, which was not included in our Tanakh. And in that source, it does not mention the oil miracle at all. It mentions the miracle of the war. Interestingly, Maimonides, the great sage and ruler, the one who codified Jewish law, does mention the war. And whenever we have a victory of war, since it was a victory that put Jewish lives in danger, then there's always a celebration with food. Fill us, we beat them, let's eat. That's the famous saying, and that's why we have the latkes and the various foods that we do on Hanukah, the donuts, etc. However, the rule is, by the Code of Jewish Law from Joseph Caro, after Maimonides, rules that the main celebration is the light. So that's the miracle of the oil, lasted for 8 days. I just want to mention that before I sign over here that the oil represents a very spiritual dimension. Oil, other than just floats, it's always floating up. Implies that's a very spiritual, lofty element. And also, oil has a property that if you put it in solids, it goes right through completely to the solid. So it has both dimensions. And this is alluding to very deep revelations of the time. The Jewish people fought for their religion. That was the war that they were fighting for, against assimilation, against attempt to stamp out Judaism. And they aroused themselves and they fought miraculously and won the war. So, thank you for listening. Thank you, Jasper. Wish you all a very happy Hanukkah. Okay? Questions you can ask in English, Hebrew, or Yiddish.
Yiddish.
Or Russian.
German.
Yep.
German.
Okay, any questions?
I sent the money over to you guys.
God bless you all. Happy Hanukkah.
I'm funny. Another big hand for Brian Bender and the JCA Pleasure Ensemble. And I want to say that one of the band members was my doctor when I was a kid. And I haven't seen him in about 20 years. And that's not the kind of seen him that I was talking about. So, I've discovered that we have a very special member of our community here tonight that I want to acknowledge. Over here we have Stanislav Goldman, who's stand up. In the last year, he has successfully converted to Judaism, meaning that this is his first Hanukkah as a Jew. So we want to acknowledge Moshe Yaakov ben Avraham for his first Hanukkah and his new Jewish soul. Mazel tov. And for our second speaker of the night, and after that we'll have music to our heart's content. I have Andrea Cohen-Keener here. She is the former spiritual leader of Temple Israel in Greenfield. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say a word about that. Temple Israel is a lot older than I thought. It was founded in 1910 as the Greenfield Hebrew Congregation and was fully Orthodox until the late 1970s. This is just stuff I discovered. There are people in our community who were part of it then. I wasn't able to get any of them to attend tonight. But one of the things that we really should stop doing as Jews is forgetting our own history on purpose. So while I wasn't able to put together a program of facts or a speaker of that, I want you all to know that Judaism and Orthodox Judaism has a rich and storied history in Greenfield and in Turner's Falls until the late 1960s. Former spiritual leader of Temple Israel, Andrea is currently the keeper of the only kosher kitchen in the city of Greenfield. Her house. And she is also, and this is what I asked her to come and speak about, a committed student and translator of Rebbe Hieronymus Kalman Shapira, including a book that's on the table here for display. Please don't take it home. Conscious Community, A Guide to Inner Work. So, Andrea Cohen-Keener, come on up. And Andrea is going to share with us about the Kabbalistic dimension, the mystical tradition that goes along with Hanukkah. And I want you to start by telling us who Rabbi Shapira was and why you care so much about his work.
You know, Jasper is really good at putting these things together and really honoring what each of us brings, and I want to mention that because it makes the room brighter when we're all really here. Reb Kalman Shapira lived in the period between the two world wars. And when World War II started, he was the Rosh Yeshiva. He was teaching children Hebrew and Jewish texts and spiritual development in Warsaw. And almost immediately after the war broke out, his whole family was lost in the very early stages of the Warsaw Ghetto. He lost a son and daughter-in-law and so on. So in the course of the war, he was alone, teaching, counseling, leading services, teaching meditation in the Warsaw Ghetto. He was teaching meditation in the Warsaw Ghetto. We have first-person letters from people who learned his technique in Warsaw. When the war, when the ghetto was liquidated, he was brought to a labor camp, and he died on the same 2-day period as 30 or 40,000 other Jews. It was the beginning of the end of the final solution. This was a time when people were digging their graves and being shot as they fell forward into their graves. So what I'm saying to you is that in the beginning of his life, he was a lasted in the Hasidic tradition, the Jewish spiritual tradition. In the war, he had an exemplary experience in the war, and he stayed to be a light to his people unto the end. Rebbe's could get out, and he stayed. He stayed to bring light. And the Hebrew light is what I want to share with you tonight, because he brought a metaphor. It might not be original with them. The wonderful thing about Reb Kalanimus is that he was a recipient of so much of this rich Hasidic tradition, which I'll be sharing a little piece from. And but he was closer to us in age, in time, in language, maybe in psychology in a certain way. And so his teachings are given over in a very accessible way. That's what I find anyways. So I want to tell you about the parable of the candle, because he talks about the candle. So here's a candle, and there's a strand in the candle that goes all the way top to bottom. It's vertical, and it sticks out over the top. And he says, this is how we are. There's a strand in us, there's a center in us, there's a straight light in us. And not all of it is concerned with our natural functioning, with our dreams, with our digestion, with our getting to work. There's a piece here that has a higher purpose. But without something higher, without the heat and the light of the fire, it is not serving its function. Then we have the idea of the higher, which we'll use the metaphor of light for that. We have the light, which is wanting to get into this world. It's wanting to get into this world all the time. You may have puzzled this out in your own lives, why we're here, what are we doing here, and I'm so happy to share some of these simple ideas from the Jewish tradition that I find to be such a deep answer to these questions. We are physical beings that have the capacity to connect to the higher. I believe in my own experience, I've noted, it is always available. The connection to the higher, which strengthens and illuminates that strand of light within us, is always available, and it is never automatic. There's always a conscious moment of pausing before you eat, to draw down a moment of gratefulness for this food I'm about to consume. I think that helps the world. It helps the world to put grateful energy into this moment of consuming. But the fire, as high and as beautiful and as wonderful as it is, cannot get into the world without the wick. Our job is to be the wick. It's to hold the fire. We're necessary, we're essential. And I want to just name it a little bit more like, how is it when the wick is lit? It might come to us as a moment of insight, as a moment of understanding, as a moment of knowing the right words to say. Or maybe when the light is ignited, it gets to our heart space, it might come to us as a moment of empathy, a moment of compassion, a moment of packing off our heart stance, just like being with the other and appreciating the other. And when it's illuminating our whole body, those are the beautiful and rare moments when we're really in the presence. When we are illuminated, when we are in some ways a servant of creation, whether we ask for it or not, that we know what to say because we're serving the higher in that moment. And that's something that can be felt in the whole body. It's something that can be photographed, something that can be sensed in different ways. So I want to wish for you and me and everyone that when we do our good deeds, that we're really all the way there. We're not just doing it in a roadway. We're not just being wax. We're being the bearer of light in darkness. So I wish you well. Thank you.
Amen.
And I am to take questions. Same number of questions. I have one more copy at home. You can get it on Amazon, but I just went off of Amazon, so don't do that. Yeah, it's up at my house, yeah.
Wonderful book.
Thank you so much. Have you looked at it?
I've read it.
Oh, that's
Studied it.
What's the name again?
Well, in Hebrew it's called B'nai Machshav Tova. B'nai in his sense means, I have a question for you guys. I translated B'nai as like fellowship, it really means sons, but I think it was meant to say community. It's people in it together. Machshava tova is really like good thinking or right thought. It uses the word machshava to mean so many things, like that whole body perception is machshava tova, that word. Computation is the same word, machshava. You know what, the other idea I want to ask you guys, have you ever heard of a school of prophecy? The prophecy school? There was a school. There was a school of prophecy that existed in Carmel, in Judea, for many, many years. All those miracle workers, 2 Kings, go and look in 2 Kings, the times of Elisha and Elijah. I'm going to tell you the things they were doing. Finding lost objects, curing illness by the word, ascending to heaven without dying, and raising people from the dead. And this was 600 years before the founder of Christianity. It was a school in the biblical tradition. It's called B'nai HaNevi'im, the school of the prophets. And Reb Kalanimus says, it's so sweet how he says it. He goes, I don't go there saying this old guy is telling me I'm like Isaiah. That's not what I'm saying. Ezekiel wasn't even like Isaiah. I know there's competition amongst the prophets. Like Ezekiel's coming here, but Isaiah's there. He says, I'm not saying you're like Isaiah, but you're on the same ladder. When you seek and when you try, you are on the same ladder. What do you got?
I have a question. What you're saying about light is so special. What I'm wondering is, in your perspective, does darkness have any redeeming qualities, or is it simply negative?
No, it's not negative. It's very important. It's integral. It's part of the conditions that we're in, because this is school. The darkness is here because it's our teacher. The darkness is the apparent separation between things, because our unity and our oneness is not easy to see in this world. We seem like separate. And it's darkness that is the separation. It's the boundary maker. It's the lines between. So it absolutely is to be embraced. And Hanukkah comes at the darkest time. This is actually the darkest time of the year. The 5th day of Hanukkah is always the new moon. It's always really close to the absolute darkness. But the teaching of Hanukkah is no. From here the light comes, and we make it. We make it increase all the time. Good question.
My question is, does darkness even exist? Or is it just that we notice the darkness because there is none?
It's interesting. Probably, in a way it actually doesn't. The apparent.
Like cold doesn't really exist, it's just less heat.
It's less heat, yeah. Well, that's very deep, and I can't answer that. But I will tell you that Kabbalah accounts for black holes. It accounts for, the first, Big Bang is a current theory we're going by. What is the first thing in Genesis? It's very compatible with some of the basic dynamics of creation that we're living in. Kabbalah has a lot to teach us. But I have an 8-minute limit, and tip your server. Thank you, Jessica, for that moment.
A word from the kitchen staff, if I may, just share one thought. First of all, it's so lovely to see everyone, and it's so nice to see everyone eating. Jewish mothers love to see everyone eating, so happy for that. I want to say something about miracles. There are 2 rabbinical holidays that have to do with miracles. Hanukkah, that we're celebrating now, and Purim, that we'll celebrate when it supposedly gets a little warmer, although it already did get a little warmer, but whatever. And both of those holidays, there are implements that we turn. What do we turn on Hanukkah? The dreidel. Excellent. You must have a good teacher. What do we turn on Purim? The grabber, that noisemaker. So if we look, the position that the dreidel, the spinning top, is spun from is from the top down. The grabber, that which we turn on Purim, is spun from the bottom. They both represent the way the world turns and God's interaction in the world, but the miracle of Hanukkah is a top-down miracle. Oil burns if it's 1 day supply for 1 day. And if it burns for 8, that's a top-down miracle. A little army that fights a big army loses. And if it wins, that's a top-down miracle. So Hanukkah is about the top-down kind of miracles. Purim, though, if we know the story, is a bottom-up miracle. It just seemed like the best soap opera ever. Like they needed a new queen, and the Jewish queen became a queen, but they didn't know she was Jewish, and this evil king, and an evil prime, you know it, and it all turned out right, and it all looked very natural. Hanukkah, there's nothing natural about it. And Purim was all very, very natural looking. But the answer to why we have these two holidays is that there's two kinds of miracles. There's the miracles that are, wow, I see that's a miracle. And there are the miracles that, hey, I could misinterpret this very easily. But the fact that I'm alive and here with you today is a miracle. I don't realize it. And the fact that we have food to eat is a miracle. The fact that we live in a world, the fact that we can bring light to the world, the interactions you have with the people that come each day to meet with you, everything in your life can be a miracle if you look for it. So Hanukkah is about getting us in the mood for looking for miracles, they're in-your-face miracles, and then as you step away from Hanukkah, realize that everything in your life is a miracle, and enjoy that. And that's the inspiration of being a light, receiving light from above, and shining your own light. So happy Hanukkah, and I have another tray of latkes.
You don't need the men to make the speeches.
also do crochet? You do also crochet? I thought it was crochet.
That's true, yeah.
Is it a little different with this one? Hanukah, Hanukah, Hayat Bekokah, Oh Havi, Misavi, Gideyeva. Hanukah, Hanukah, I see you on so, Okay, one more in that game. Now we have a couple of Sephardic Hanukah songs for you in the Ladino language, which is a combination of Spanish and Hebrew. This one is called Ocho Candelicas. con alegrías y placer, muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Los pastelicos con alegrías y labios. Los pastelicos con alegrías y ocho candelas para mí. We have another Ladino song for you. Hanukah. This one has a little sing-along part that we hope you'll join us with. It goes like this. La 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 la. Let's do that one more time. La Thank you. Good seeing everyone. All right, we have some dance music for you now.
she has a PhD in spelling.
Doing it since very young.
We're going to close out with a slower one. Once again, happy Hanukah. Thank you to Jasper for organizing all this and inviting us to play. I'm seeing a lot of old friends here. And I mean that, I guess I say old in both sense now, because I've known you a long time, and we're all not getting any younger, I guess. Yes, we are. I stand corrected. Go along with that. My name is Brian Bender. This is Sam Gladstone.